Yep, nope. Restarting a podcast are going to get canceled on me. So, no.
I expected negativity, and this is all about how people are good.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Anyway, hey folks, we are the One Star Review podcast. My name is Andrew Van. After a hiatus and a break, we are back with fresh new episode with my new friend and new co-host Chris Wolf.
Hey everybody, you might recognize me from the Villain Support social media channels where I play a character named John who does customer service calls with villains because they're all incompetent idiots and they need help. I'm super excited to be on here. This is super fun. Once Andrew told me about the concept, I was 100% on board. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so definitely click on the link, go over and check out his podcast. Not podcast, it is a actual YouTube channel and it is amazing. And you got a couple appearances. By the time this comes out, you'll be a couple Comic-Cons down the road, right?
Yeah, I've been to last year. I went to the FanX convention in Salt Lake City.
Nice.
This year, I've gone to the Atlanta Comic-Con, and then this year, I'm also in April 6th. I'm actually going to the South Carolina Comic-Con. I've had panels at all of those, and I actually have a booth at the South Carolina one as well.
That's awesome. A quick story before we get into our title podcast episode. My first time ever going to Atlanta Comic-Con, Dragon Con years ago. I got to, because it's like in the 4 hotel quadrants, right, where they are. And we get there, me and a friend and my girlfriend at the time, many years ago. And we get to the back of a giant line that literally wrapped behind the building. And I did not buy tickets beforehand. We kind of just like went on a 24-hour notice, get to the back of the line. And I say to one of the guys, is this the line to get tickets? And he goes, no, this is the line to see Patrick Stewart. And I was like, are you serious? Holy shit. So
yeah, I haven't been in Dragon Con before, but when I was at the Atlanta Comic Con, friends of mine who've been to Dragon Con were telling me stories about the lines wrapping around city blocks. And I looked at him and I'm like, you're literally talking me out of going.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine like someone standing around almost all day to see Patrick Stewart, and then to be like, Sir Stewart. You're like, oh, get, oh, you're quite sweaty. Oh God. Oh, get away. Anyway, no, I'm sure he's very nice. That was my horrible Patrick Stewart, by the way, folks.
That's fun. We had taken Atlanta to meet Andy Serkis, the actor Gollum in Lord of the Rings, and the line, and they're rushing everyone through, and you get in there, and he's standing there, and you walk in, and he's like, hello, and you get next to him, and he puts his arms around you. He's like, all right, goodbye, and he literally then not shoves you, but kind of like just guides you away and brings the next person in. I mean, the photo op is literally, it was 15 seconds, a chance to shake his hand, and he was just like, yeah.
And then you get that impression of like, he's so nice.
Yeah.
In that vast 12 and a half seconds, be like,
for someone who wants all of you to get in and get out as fast as possible, man, I almost made a comparison to something else, but I'm not going to do that.
No, but you know what we are going to do? We're going to talk about Windy City Burgers. So, folks, this place has been around for, I think, almost a couple years now, like 2 or 3 years, I think, almost.
I think 2 years now, yeah.
It used to be Vic's Pizza back in the day off of Coffee Street, right across from Alchemy Comedy. Shout out to Alchemy Comedy at Coffee Underground. That is where I started my comedy journey over 12 years ago. That's how you and I mutually met as I was kind of like, in a sense, graduating, moving on to other things. You were coming as a student and you loved it. You stayed. You're on a couple of house teams now. So shout out to them. And so now it is Windy City Burgers. And I will genuinely say it is now one of my top 3 burger places to eat. There's something to be said about the quaint size of the place, and you're literally just kind of, using the term in and out, no pun intended, to the actual other burger chain. But I mean, just for what they have, like pound for pound, size for size, like it just is a whopping experience in there. And we'll talk about more positivities there. So again, with the One Star Review podcast, I started this years ago to read the bad reviews of good places. I am not by any means trying to shit on a place and be like, well, this place sucks, right? Let's read this. Like that's totally not my agenda. So if you've never heard the podcast at all, I am a Greenville native. I'm born and raised in Greenville. I have seen Greenville grow from where right across the street where there's the One Center Plaza, where there was just a giant dirt pit 12 years ago, to now the One Center. We have shopping, we have restaurants, and we're a growing downtown area. It's a mid-sized small city. A lot of people have transplanted here from all sorts. You yourself have transplanted from Chicago, right? Which is why you have and you love Windy City Burgers yourself. And I genuinely I love talking up, but in this case, using public domain irony of reviews of people who are untitled. So if you've never listened to the podcast, that is the long elevator pitch of it. And I guess let's get down to it. I'll take this one. Normally, I also don't like to read people's names on a Google review. I like to keep that somewhat private, unless you want to go. However, this first one is Troubleshooter. 1 star, update 1 year ago, new review, all caps, never again. Person making burgers wasn't wearing gloves and was licking their fingers. Old review. Currently having the Hudson barbecue burger, and man, is it good. Not only is it it's good, it's a lot of burger. So good, so filling. I'm taking a break to write this review before I go work back on this burger awesomeness. I took mine to go as this place is quite small and is packed with people, but I highly, highly recommend this place, ! And the new review, I guess, is taking it down to a 1 out of 5 food and a 1 out of 5 service. I'm not here to discredit and argue whether or not someone was in the back kitchen cooking with no gloves and licking their fingers. To me, I get it. At the same time, I will tell a story that now has been, I wouldn't say 14 years later. I worked at the coffee shop inside of Barnes & Noble, known as the Starbucks inside of Barnes & Noble Cafe, which people mistakenly always thought was a Starbucks and would try to use a gift card and be like, can I use my gift? Like, no, we are still a Barnes & Noble. If you have a Barnes & Noble gift card, and it would just get annoying. All that to say, one day as a barista, and it was downtime, I'm sitting there making scones. I am chopping up the scones that are frozen. Yes, folks, they are frozen, not fresh baked. And about to pop them in the oven. And I, took off my glove. I had like a little crumb on the thing, and I licked my hand. No one saw me, right? This was 14, 15 years ago. So not yet in the day and age where everyone has a phone camera and everyone has TikTok and everyone can just cancel one into that. I literally just looked down, I licked my finger, and then I thought it was with my finger in my mouth, very unprovokingly, just went, oh, this is probably bad. Now, I'm not saying this may have happened to this gentleman. I'm also not saying that maybe Troubleshooter may be honest. I don't know. There are a lot of petty people out there.
Maybe this person doesn't work there anymore.
maybe, right? And that owner, from what I met with you, takes that job very seriously. So that could also be the case. Like they take quality up to like the next level, from what I remember. So
there's 2 managers there, as far as I know. 2 owners, and then some managers. And I've never seen. I've been there when neither one of the owners appears to be there, so it's possible it was like an evening shift or something. Who knows? But I mean, I think I'd react that way also. But you just ask, hey, can you remake my burger with gloves and not lick your fingers? You don't decide never to go back to the place. You can ask them to change their behavior, right?
You just kind of stare at them like that P. Diddy gif and just be like,
yeah,
I know what I saw. You know what you did. One of us is going to budge. Anyway, you want to read the next one?
Sure. Now, I'll say my experience there. I eat at this place multiple times a month when I'm performing improv, because I'll get there early before my show. I'll run across the street, grab a burger, and go back over. I've had a great experience every single time. But apparently, this particular diner did not. My wife and I decided to try Windy City Burgers tonight, and unfortunately, it was a big disappointment. I was very hopeful going into it, since I'm from Chicago and would love to support a fellow South Sider. The burgers looked like they were going to be outstanding, but the buns were so dry that it made them difficult to eat and completely unenjoyable. I actually coughed and had to drink some of my beer due to the dryness, and it sucked all the life out of the burger. My wife couldn't even eat most of hers. The fries looked like they may have been good, but we did not eat them because they were very greasy. I'm upset that I spent almost $50 for this meal and I couldn't even enjoy it. I almost asked for a refund, but I decided otherwise. If you're reading this, I would pass on this restaurant. It is just not worth it. If you want a good burger, go to Growler House on West End or even Grill Marks around the corner. Both are much better. Now, I'm not saying this guy was paid by Growler House or Grill Marks, but it certainly seems like, because this doesn't describe, I've been going there since they opened, doesn't describe my experience at all, because all their buns are made every single day fresh. Their burgers are made fresh. Their fries are made fresh. They got a big sign saying, when we're out of burgers and buns, we close. So there's nights that they're closed, 7:15 p.m. because they're out of food. So like I said, I'm not saying that Growler House or Grill Marks paid this person to leave the review, but it kind of sounds like one of them might have paid this person to leave a review. They're like, dang, the burgers here are good. We need a bad press for these guys.
Before I took a break with the show, I did notice a trend out of like the 100 and some episodes we got to, that anytime you see someone put someone another business in their review saying this place is much better, you kind of already know, like, just like you pointed out, there's already like an agenda here. Like they already knew either one, they had an expectation from some other place, or, two, like they already like knew that they were going to crap on this other place and just kind of go with it. For some reason, also back in past history episodes, a lot of people in Greenville, I don't know why, for a deli place in particular, or sometimes a sandwich place or even a burger place, the standard is $8 Arby's. I don't know what it is. So if I come across one of these and I see, X food is bad, I'd rather go eat at Arby's for $8. I'm going to lose my shit. Just preface that as we are just scrolling to the second review at this point. But yes, no, I agree. There's something to be said. Like if you felt that way, you clearly didn't see right behind the counter, like the fresh buns that they literally have just steaming behind them and everything else cooked like almost like 10 feet away from when you're ordering. So to me, it's like, how are you even saying that when like it's right there on display in front of you?
The other thing I'm thinking about is this, like if you think about dry bread, how often is dry bread soft? Typically, dry bread's really hard. So wouldn't you complain about the bun being crunchy or the bun being like a big loaf of sourdough versus just be like you don't bite into it. You don't hold you can't hold a bun and not realize it's dry until after you bite into it, because you'll feel the dryness in the sponginess of the burger. I don't know. I feel like this person's a mole.
They personally, I guess, don't like Texas toast either, because that's what the kind of sandwich is like. That's going to be hard, but yeah, like you said, it's
that's a good point.
I don't know. Whoa. All right, next one.
No, I want Texas toast.
This review is strictly based on the lack of availability of this place. I have no idea what the food tastes like. We have attempted to order from here at least 10 times since they opened. Today, their hours were listed as open until 6. I arrived at 5 and they were closed for the day. Sadly, no note on the door or any explanation. So this also kind of goes back to what you just said, that their hours can vary depending on their availability, right? So when we went the other day on like a weekday afternoon, they close at 2. They break down for a couple hours, clean up the kitchen, reset for the night, and then do service from like 6 or 5 or 6 to whenever they're sell out, right? So
they typically do 5 till 9. Now, I'm going to say something here. This place has only been open for lunch for like a year. Before that, they were only a dinner place. So I don't know who the person is saying they closed at 6. There's no night they've ever closed at 6. They're either not open or they're open till 9 or until the food runs out.
Also, those are the best kinds of places that if they have to close because they ran out, you shouldn't be mad. You should be like, damn, I want to get here earlier next time to see what the hype is about. My opinion, only, folks, maybe.
You saw that line. I mean, I got there and there was no one else. And then literally 20 seconds later, 8 people lined in and then you showed up. And it's just like, wow, like that went from not busy to full like that. If I hadn't grabbed this table, we wouldn't have had a place to eat.
Yeah, we were both two very dad-like people by going, we came here at a good time.
Yep.
Yeah, the next one.
Yep. If I could give a 0, I would. The manager is hateful and rude, and I will never go there, period.
I want to know what he did to the manager. The manager had, like, I mean, I know you go there multiple times a month and knows you by name, by face, talks to you, comes up to you. So, and he also did the same with like everybody else I saw in the
Yeah.
restaurant. He went to each table, checked in on them, asked them if they need anything, how everything was. Even like, hey, like, hope you come back. We appreciate your business. Like just very genuine greetings. So I'm just wondering, what did you
I have
do?
no idea. Right. This guy went in, caused problems, threw a big fit, maybe maybe destroyed the bathroom or something, and then was asked to leave. And oh, you're hateful and rude.
Hateful and Rude goes right into the next review. I'm just going to read this one. Young and hip with a Patrick Starfish from SpongeBob profile picture. This is from 8 months ago. This is around dinner time. I got food poisoning from the egg burger, and that's it. First off, I mean, as long as the egg is relatively cooked to some degree, you can't get food poisoning from like a fried egg, as far as I know. I mean, I know you can get it from, let's say, like a batter that's not properly cooked or like chicken that's been sitting around. Like, I've gotten food poisoning. I've gotten food poisoning one time from a bar that is no longer operational. And I will not say, just out of respect to Greenville natives that may know the place or have a fondness for it, because generally, even though I got food poisoning place, I generally like this place a lot for their music, their entertainment, trivia, all that kind of stuff. But one time I got chicken wings, and I'll at least say the name of the dish. Unfortunately, the chicken wing flavor was called Joey's Blizzard, and I remember that 10 years later because when would I ever eaten anything else named Joey's Blizzard? And
Right.
I remember it was delicious. It went down okay. But then I remember the next morning, I felt like death. And I had to go to the bathroom every hour on the hour. And I remember there were times where I had to like crawl back and forth to get where I was going because I didn't know about a thing called hydration and how important it is to your body. But all that being said, that was like food poisoning from like spoiled chicken. Now, I've never heard of food poisoning from a fried egg on a burger. I could be wrong. I am not a dietitian. I am not a health expert. Because the response from the owner is right after it says, "Can you please elaborate on this issue? We have never gotten this type of complaint. When were you in our restaurant and when did you start feeling sick?"
Yeah.
Have you ever had food poisoning?
I've never had like down for the count food poisoning, but I've certainly had like food poisoning. Like you're just gassy for hours and feels like you just got a brick in your stomach.
Yeah.
I actually had that yesterday. After eating at I'm not gonna say which restaurant it was, but before our improv.
We're professionals here.
Before we went to the improv practice yesterday, I went out with some members of our team. And I ate at the same place as several other people did. And then we went over to a little brewery. But on the way to the brewery, like I noticed a little bit of rumbling, a little bit of rumbling in the tumbly. And through the whole practice, I was just kind of like, just feeling slowly bloating. Got home and spent the whole afternoon just trying to figure out what was going on. And then, like mid-evening, I just started feeling better.
So you're saying that the place that you ate at is within a block of Coffee Underground? Got it. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Got another one here.
Yep, I can do this.
All right.
Oh, so this one is profound. Food was just not good.
I mean, look, even though I disagree respectfully, at least that person straight to the point. At least that person didn't collude, make some kind of crazy story or whatever. It's just like, all right, I just didn't like it. Okay, fine, good for you.
Right. So that is 1-star review number 6 out of 343 reviews with an average of 4.8. So 6 divided by 343. So 1.7% of people who've gone there have thought it was worthy of a 1-star review. So if you're the kind of person who is a fan of making your decisions based on the lowest amount of risk, maybe you shouldn't go. Everyone else, I think you should give it a shot.
Give it a shot because they are definitely some unique menu items on there. When we went, we got was it the Overbrook? Is that what we got?
No, I have to look at the menu. I don't remember.
So I'll say this while you look that up. Like the texture of the burger is what I remember the most. So it's got not only a juicy patty, but like there's like a crisp like edge to each side of the patty. It's like what you would get if you properly grill a burger like that.
Yep.
Like, because a lot of places you're going to get like that sweaty, greasy meat kind of like, and it's like, some places are like little, I would say some places are a little juicier and tender, like a grill marks, like we mentioned. But I will say that there's something about the flavor with Windy City. And I think you put it best when you said it, like, to you, it hit like home for you as like a Chicago transplant.
Yeah. So the people who run the restaurant, they live, at least one of them lived in Chicago for 40 years and ran a similar business there. And this business is based on that business model. I find it very reminiscent of the food I ate growing up in the Chicago area. I believe that I had the Northwood, which I normally don't get.
Yes.
Because I'm getting ready for a show and I don't want a messy burger with an egg on it to drip on my shirt, because then I got to be on stage with like egg blop and I don't want to do that. But when I'm not going to perform, half-pound protein of choice, applewood smoked bacon, fried egg, homemade pimento cheese. It's just, and their burgers, they're ground fresh with a mix of chuck and pork belly. So it's like half bacon. It's
the only place I can remember the couple times I visited Chicago that were like standout burger places. And I hope I get this right. If not, I hope you don't slander me or hate me. Kuma's. Never even been there. Kuma's is really good. So to me, like having a Chicago, and you were very big on the fries. You sold, I think, the fries more than the actual burger.
I grew up eating fries like this in the Chicago area. I don't know if it's a Chicago style or just whatever it is, but the best way to describe it is it's like strips of baked potato. It's crispy on the outside, but it's still kind of soft on the inside, at least while they're still warm. As they cool down, they kind of get, crunchier. But I love just the thick square cut style of fry.
Yeah, no, they were good. And then you got them plain salted, which is good. And then I just went extra bougie for an extra $1 and got the garlic parmesan. I will say they were greasy, but you were warning me about that. And that's just typical of any Parmesan, aioli, truffle, whatever fries. So that's not abnormal by any means, but it was damn delicious. We both cleared our plates and we got like pieces of white chocolate. That's normal, right?
Yeah, they give everyone the little piece of like candy bark or whatever that was. There is one other kind of fry there that I've had once that was really good, mainly because my wife is a huge fan of blue cheese, but it's the buffalo blue cheese fries. I'm not a big fan of buffalo sauce. I don't know what it is about the flavor. I think it's like the vinegary tang to it just doesn't. Sure. I like pickles and stuff, but buffalo sauce and I just don't get along. But I will say, like, those fries were also fantastic.
All right, folks, you heard it here. Greenville, South Carolina, off Coffee Street. Try Windy City Burgers. If you don't believe me, if you go on Facebook, there's at least a number of foodie groups like Greenville Foodies and all whatever. And anytime I'm just killing time scrolling, I somehow always get a feed in my scrolling, my doom scrolling, have you, and I see someone posting Windy City Burger, and just you can tell the signature of that it's their style with that seeded bun that they make fresh daily. You had mentioned, like it's just enormously large. Like you'll have a good time. It's a great meal. You can get it to go. You can eat it there. Again, open for lunchtime. They close down for a little bit in the late afternoon, and then open for dinner till when they sell out. So that tells you something there. But check out Windy City Burgers, Greenville, South Carolina, right in the heart of downtown Greenville. This has been 1-star reviews with the comeback episode. We have more to come, so check those episodes out. So in the meantime, we also have past audio episodes on Spotify, all the things there. So hit a like, subscribe, all the things, bells and whistles, you know how to do. If you have any kind of social media, if you're anywhere below the age of 50, I assume you know what like, subscribe, and all this stuff means. That helps us out too. Also, check out Chris's other channel, the Villain Support YouTube channel. It's a huge hit there. You have a good time with him and his partner, Levi. So check that out as well. We'll bring you back some more episodes.